Welcome. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to dimension your job, the internal dimensions and the external dimensions. So now to dimension this job, what I need to do is to pick my dimension tool. Now don't forget that you have to set up your dimensions before you start using them so that it can appear properly on your drawing space. So I've set up this. If you don't know how to do that, go and watch my previous video on how to set up the dimension style manager to understand how to set up this. So I've done that, so I'm just going to start with the dimensioning. So before you start dimension, when you pick your dimension tool, I'm going to be using linear. Make sure you pick the dimension layer property you set initially. Make sure you pick that dimension. So that's what I will be using. So I'll select the dimension layer property, then I'll pick my dimension. So I'll start making dimensions. So I'll do the internal dimension first. So let's see. So I'm going to make the internal dimension for this bedroom. You can see this is 4,200 by, so let's see that, by 42. So that's the internal dimension for this space. So you do that for the remaining parts like that. You pick them and you drag them down. You pick and then you drag it down like that until you make sure you pick all the internal parts, so that while constructing this particular job, the builder or whoever is in charge will know the dimension of the internal part of your job. You have to set that up. So you can see the way I'm just picking those spaces, and I'm trying not to overshadow whatever job I have on the screen. So you can see where I'm placing the dimension. So that's how you have to do the dimension. Don't make your dimension overshadow any other job you have on your drawing space. You can see the way I'm trying to avoid that that issue. So you also have to be careful and mindful of the way you place your dimension. So you can see this is how you make your dimension, and then proper dimension. You can see it. So let me put on auto so that it will give me a perfect straight line. So for the dining space now, I'm just going to pick this edge and then this, and then drag it out. You can see it, and then drag it out like that. You can see the way I'm making up that dimension. For the toilets and baths here, I'll do the same. Drag it out. So I decided to move this so that it won't affect any part of my dimension. So go back again, pick dimension, the length and the breadth, length and breadth. So you have to get dimension. So I have to know the dimension of this space to the lobby area. So it's 3,300 by 1,800. I can decide to stay at that here if you wish, but it's already obvious that it's 1,800. Okay, so you can see now for this space, which is like the balcony for the kitchen area, I'm going to get dimension out too. Okay, so you can see in all my spaces I've made sure that I've gotten the internal dimension. So if I also want to know the space in between these walls, you can see what I have here. If I want to know this space too, I can decide to pick this point and this point and then drag it down just to know the space around the side to the wardrobe area. So you can see I've made dimension of these spaces. For the carport here, I'll get the dimension too, which is from this point to this point. Get the dimension. I want it to align with the one above. So then I'll get for the other side this point to this point. So now this is for the internal dimension. So for the external dimension, which is the external part of this building, what I'm going to do is to pick my dimension and then look at the way I'm making my dimension. So drag it out. Now there's something we call continuing dimensioning. when you are dimensioning things like this. So I'm going to go to annotate and then pick these two, which is called continue, and then continue the dimension like that, instead of picking them picking the dimension 2 and then going back. So the continue tool just help me pick those parts that are needed, and then I'll continue like that instead of picking them one after the other. Okay, so I'll get this dimension here, get this dimension here, and then this here and this here. Okay, so now I haven't done this. I'll go back again to get the dimension for some spaces that I needed. So I'll get the dimension from this point to this point, drag it out like this, and then go to continue, and then get the remaining part, which is this, to get the full dimension. Okay, so the next one is to get the entire dimension of this particular side. So I'm going to pick from this point down to this point to get the entire dimension for this part. So you can see 17,349, that's the entire dimension for this part. Then the other one is this part, so I'll pick this part. So obviously the walls are 225. If I want to show that, so I can easily show that, so I'll go with 225 first. So I'm just show you the different types. So I'll click on continue, and then so anywhere I get to see the 225, I have to pick this. You can see the way I'm picking those spots, so that we'll have the full dimensions like that. 225. Okay, now you can see this dimension are they are overlapping, so I don't want that, so I have to do something about that to avoid overlapping. So you just select the dimension, escape, select the dimension, which is this, pick this, and then probably drag it out so they won't overlap, that one can easily see them like that. Or if you don't want to use this style because it's looking a little rough, this is what I'm going to do. So first off, I'll get the dimension for this side 225, or I'll get the dimension for this point to this point, drag out, pick continue like that, continue, and then I'll end it here. Now the next thing I'm going to do, now look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the dimension for this part alone, 225, drag it up, then I'll go like this, get for this side like this. So the main target is the wall, is 225 wall, so that it will look too rough. I think this is a little bit neater than the one I did earlier, so you can just drag it to this side so that they will overlap. You can see now, so that it will look a little bit neat, or neat generally. So I've gotten the wall for the walls, and then the remaining thing is the entire dimension. What is the entire size of the space? It's 10,500 millimeters. So you can see, so you can make a dimension like that. In this part I didn't consider the 225, but you can see the way you can consider the 225 here, right? Okay, so you can go again and then pick your dimension and do for the remaining part of your job. So I'm going to pick this, and then like that, drag it out, go to continue like that. Now I'm going to get the internal walls first. You can see this is overlapping. I have to do something about that. So what I'm going to do is this: I'm going to delete all of this and start again, because my dimension must not overlap in such a way. So what I'm going to do is to pick this, click, and then drag it out properly like this, so that I'll avoid overlapping on the dimension I have for the balcony. So I'll continue like that, check for the wall, for the door, this window, this one, and a wall here. Okay, so I haven't done that. I'll go again, pick the dimension, and then go for the 225 like this. Then I will drop that here. Okay, so I'll click continue. I'll pick the 225 here too. You know, they are on the same line, so I can pick this and this, and then pick this one here too, and this too, and then pick this one and this one. Okay, so I've gotten those dimension part. Then I'll go again, continue, then get the dimension from this point to this point. Sorry, pick the dimension from this area down to this point, and then drag it out. Okay, let me do it this way. Pick this point and this point, and then go like this, drop it here, and then continue, get the entire dimension for this point, and then finish it here. Okay, so I've gotten the dimension for now. The total dimension is what I'm going to do now. So I'll pick from this point. Now the dimension is getting to this side, so I have to note this side. So I'll do for the remaining side too. So I'll go back to continue, and then for this side I'm going to pick my dimension to get the dimension of this part, because I'm going to identify those parts too, like that. Okay, so I will know those parts just as the way we have these two. Then I can decide to know the entire, just as the way we have for this side. We have 5, 3, 4, 9. I can decide to know for that side too, so I'm going to pick it from this point down to this point to know the entire dimension in this manner. So I'm just going to align it to this one. Okay, so we have 5, 3, 4, 9, and same as this side, 5, 3, 4, 9. So that's the dimension for this particular side. So the remaining part is this side. So let me see if I put on my, you can see when I put on my line width, it shows that my walls are thick, so that the dimension is not going to overlap the overshadow the dimension is not going to overshadow the wall. So the walls are thick, so I have no cause for alarm. Okay, all right. So next thing I'm going to do is to get the dimension for this particular side. So let me just put off the line width to see it in this format. So I'll start from, let's start from this point. So you remember we have this one here, so you're going to pay attention to this side too. So you pick that side and this side, you drag it down like this, you go to continue, you continue from there, you get the windows, and then there's a door here, you get the door, you get the window here, and then the other side here. Okay, so the next thing is pick again dimension. Now if I decide to that I want to see the 225, click and drag it down on the second part, and then go to continue, and then check for the 225 here too, 225, and then 225 here, 225. Okay, you can see them 225 and the space in between. Now there's an overlapping dimension here, you have to do something about that. Or which one? Okay, I think I need to pick the other 225. I think I need to pick this one, so I have to be out here, so I'll pick it out here and drop it around this side. No, that has to be on the same line. Okay, so 225, so I don't want them to overlap. So the next thing is to pick my dimension again. Now I want to know each part. Pick this side, drag it down, use continue again, get to know this part, and then this part. Okay, so having done that, I can now decide to know the entire dimension from this point, this particular point, to this point, and then drag it down. Don't get confused, it's just the normal dimension. You can see a lot of line cutting across each other. You can decide to go back to your dimension style manager to edit the way you set your dimension. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to annotate, so I can decide to pick it from here, which is the okay, I don't think, okay, I'll pick it from this dimension style manager, modify, and then come down to extend beyond dimension line, no, or set from origin. I'm going to increase that to, let's say I'm going to increase it to, let's increase it to 1000 and see how it's going to look like. See that too much. Okay, let's see how it's going to look like. Okay, set correct, and then close. So I just wanted it to be a little bit far off so that it won't overshadow the drawing too much. You can see it's now a little bit distant from the drawing itself, because I don't want it to overshadow what I have here. You can see, so like this. Now I can drag it down, so I don't want it to overshadow my job. I drag it down, drag this one to down again, like this. So I don't want it to overshadow the job. I'll do it again. I think they are in 3 layers, so pick the second one. Okay, 2. So I've done that. Then for this side too, I'll do the same thing. Pick this and then drag it down. Pick this too and drag it here. Okay, the same thing for this one too. Drag it down. Just pick it and drag it down. So click on this one again, click and drag it down. Okay, good. I think I'm okay with that, like that. So you can see it now. So that's how to make a dimension in AutoCAD. So I can decide to put on this too, just to show you that the dimension that I have here is not overshadowing the drawing itself. You can see how bold the drawing is. So I can decide, even for these lines, if I feel the line is too thick, I can decide to reduce the thickness. Okay, I think, let me go through the, okay, so I can decide to reduce it here. I'll look for something way more better. Okay, I think this is better. So I'll match property, click on match property, select the ones that I needed to select, because I don't want it to be of the same size or the same thickness as the wall. So I'll just match property to edit that. Yeah, so I'll do the same for this side. Good. And this side too. Oh, sorry, Ctrl Z. I have to start again. I made a little mistake there, so I have to correct it. So let me just quickly finish up this. Okay, so I have to do it for this side too. This, no, this, this. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, so I've done that. So this is my job now. So that's how to make dimension in AutoCAD. You can see the way I've made the dimension for the 2-bedroom bungalow. So that's how to make dimension for your job in AutoCAD. So as simple as that. If you feel your dimension is a little bit tiny or small, you can go to annotation, dimension style, go to modify, and then go to text, and then come down here and then increase the height of the text. Here you have 250, they are 250, so as in the height of this text here is 250, so I can decide to increase it if I feel that it's too much, but I think I'm okay with this. So cancel, and then close. So that's what we have here. So that's how to make dimension in AutoCAD. I hope you get one or two things from this lesson. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe to our channel to get more of this video. I'll see you in my next video.